Good morning, everybody. Northwood Replay 2021, and we are back on air on MCTV. It is awesome to have you back, and it has been about 650 plus days since we've had a chance to talk football at Northwood University with one of our favorites, and that's head coach Leonard Haynes of the Northwood Timberwolves. The season got underway last night against Gannon University out of Erie, Pennsylvania. We'll talk about them in a little bit, but I want to welcome Coach Haynes back to the new studios at MCTV. It's a sellout crowd here in the auditorium at the library, in Midland's library. But also my co-host, Rich Violette, and you too, my friend. We did last night's game, and we almost had to reintroduce ourselves to each other.
It was fun to knock the rust off.
Oh, for heaven's sakes, blow the dust off and get back at football. And we're excited to do that right here on the home of Northwood Replay, and that's MCTV. Coach Haynes, you look good for having a late night under the lights at Midland Community Stadium last night.
I don't know about that. But.
No, we do. Yeah, you look at the lighting. It's probably the lighting has you looking good. Hey, listen, before we dig into the gridiron, I've had a lot of people asking me the last couple of years since you and Rich and I first did this originally in the front end of the 2019 season, and then Coach E.J. Arnold took over, your associate head coach, while you were wrestling some health things. How the health are you? And bring us up to date on how Coach Leonard Haynes is doing with you and your family. And I know you're over those hurdles, but it was a bit of a steeplechase for you to get past some things you took on in 2019.
Yes, it was an interesting year for 2019 for all of us.
Right.
And I battled some health issues that I had to get taken care of, which removed me from football for the better part of the season. And I want to thank E.J. Arnold for filling in and doing a magnificent job, and filling in for me. And I can't give him enough thanks for what he's done for this program. Right. And so, but my health is it's been pretty good as of late. So the doctors say take it easy. You know, he said don't do much yelling. Try to keep cool, keep your heart rate down, and stay on your feet. And so I've been trying to do some of those things and just following the doctor's orders just to make sure I can obviously get through the season. And, obviously I want to live.
Right,
so,
right.
So I better do what's right. And
now, what's interesting is you said that took you out of coaching. Yeah. Now, I'm not going to give away secrets here, but you didn't do real well staying out of the program. I mean, physically you did, but you had your hands in your head and your mind in what was going on with your coaches. We do know that.
Yeah, I kind of still had a hand in some things, but, they really wanted me to stay away. I got caught sneaking to a game at one point, and got reprimanded by my wife.
Of course, yeah, the boss saw that happen.
And so, but I had some good people watching over me to make sure I did the right things. And so, it's definitely hard to stay away once you're a ball coach, man. You're always a ball coach, and you just, for me, I had to do the smart thing for me and my family, and to try to recoup so I can get back to the point I'm at now.
You bet.
Coach, it's great seeing your smiling face. I missed it. Really. Look,
well, thank you.
I love the smile on your face all the time. It's awesome.
Thank you. It's good to see you guys out. I mean, it's been a long time.
So, talking a little football, been a lot of changes in the last year and a half, and especially on your staff. Mm-hmm. And curious what you dislike about the changes, your any different philosophy. I know we're going to get into the game. We've seen some things that were a little different last night, but how's the staff looking? And as a follow-up to that, how did the players and you handle the whole COVID situation?
Right. Well, with the pandemic that obviously it hit everybody, we weren't able to play last year. Like a lot of schools, some schools did play. We weren't able to play, so we practiced quite a bit. And what was happening in some of the other schools that were not playing, or some of the schools that were playing, have movement on their staffs. And so what happens is naturally in coaching, guys are looking for good coaches to fill their staffs and fill spots. So we started to have guys get opportunities. And it happens in coaching. The timing for us wasn't good. So I did not like that. To answer that question, You never like that, but it's part of the business. And, for us, we were down in the spring, really one defensive coach. I mean, not down, but we only had one defensive coach, and that was Coach Mack. and I had to fill in, and we had a volunteer guy filling in to coach the defense, because we had a couple of defensive guys get some opportunities and move on and move up. And so then it kind of hit our offensive side of the ball a little later, where we lost some coaches, and same thing, better opportunities, and you don't like it because of the timing. And so therefore, we had to go out, obviously, and hire some coaches. And I believe we hired some really good, energetic coaches that love football. And again, you never know, they could be gone, by next year. But I don't really think about that. I just want the guys to grow where they are and help Northwood, to the best of their abilities. And we have Joaquin Bradley. He played in the Canadian Football League, played in the NFL. He's our defensive backs coach. We have Michael Prefer, who was at Pitt. His last stop was at Pitt. His dad is actually the special teams coordinator for the Cleveland Browns, and he's been in the NFL for about 18, 19 years. And so then we lost our offensive line coach a little later, in which brought in Nick Young, coach that was out in Iowa, but he's been around the MAC a little bit as well as coaching. And so, and that's just to name a few, but we had to really kind of revamp our whole staff. But what it is, we got some young, energetic coaches that know the game of football, and I'm excited to have them. The energy around the office is great, just on the field is great, and the players have really taken to these coaches. And so that's the one thing you like, that the coaches have to come in and establish relationships with these guys at the end of the day. And the faster you can do that, the faster you can get these guys to buy in. And so to that, it's been looking good. So it's still a work in progress. I'm still getting to know the coaches. They still getting to know me. And it's just a work in progress as we move forward. And so how we handle COVID, to answer that, is, we had a lot of restrictions, in terms of what we can and cannot do as a football team or as a university. And I thought Northwood did a great job of handling all of that. And we were able to practice, but we had to split our practices up. So it was so last year's freshmen never went through a camp until now, till this year.
Isn't that something?
Yeah, and so we wind up having to split our practices in threes. So it was times that some of the players didn't even know each other. Get to know each other, they had masks on, and it was hard for me at times, I'll admit. If we had a newcomer and I saw him without a face mask on or without a mask on, I'd be like, well, who are you?
Who is that?
Are you on the football team? Oh, okay.
What's your number?
Exactly. And so it really was challenging, but I thought we got through it pretty good. Obviously we wish we could have played some games. We had some games scheduled for that spring, wound up getting canceled due to COVID for the other teams. And so we mainly just scrimmaged against one another and tried to make it as real as we could, game-like situations. And so, but our players and the coaches, I take my hat off to them. We really battled through it and got through it. And which brings us to now.
Right.
From what we saw last night, you can tell everybody done a great job, because you couldn't tell that there's new coaches on the sideline. Well, you could.
Yeah.
There was energy there, right? And the players played well, and we'll get into that. But
So
hats off to you.
Coach. On the premise of stirring the pot on your coaching staff, you got 36 recruits, and I knew that at the time that number came out, you were still doing some shopping. So you've got some talented returned young guys that are now not young anymore, because you gave them time in 2019 to play football as redshirt freshmen and early sophomores. So you got guys coming back with experience. You've added 36 plus new students, new athletes to your staff to go with your new coaches. The dynamics of that is, I know you concentrated on your defensive backfield a little bit. You're also, as you're always doing, is shopping for what's happening on the lines, both offensively and defensively. That seemed, again, in Rich's reference to last night, the energy. So you had two big pieces of a three-part puzzle, with you being kind of the Big Ben piece of the puzzle that it's all being built around. I sensed last night that handshake, that melding of coaching staff and new players and your returning players that have new coaches, you have to feel good about some of the things that you've seen during our fall campaign leading up to last night's game.
Oh, yeah. Recruiting, one, to touch on that, recruiting was altogether different.
Oh, I can't
altogether
imagine.
different.
No,
It was kind of spread out. It was we had to get creative because we weren't able to go to camps. We had to watch a lot of film. We brought kids in pretty much almost three per day or something like that, or 4 to 5 per day, and it spread the day out. But you had to really, really work hard at getting to know a recruit and what they're about, the ins and outs of them, their playing ability, the character, things of that nature. So it was a little different for us because we weren't able to put our hands on them, so to speak, during camps and getting to do home visits. So it was quite different, but we do believe we successfully recruited a pretty decent class of freshmen. And so I'm proud of that for our staff. They put a lot of work into doing it.
Shows.
And we also got some steals, in this class. So it definitely helped, so it was a lot of stuff to put together. And I take my hat off to Coach Arnold and Coach Mack, the guys that's still around.
Right.
They had a big hand in to do with that, and so it was good to see how it all came together. And now we're getting to see them a little bit more firsthand now.
Well, the house is built on a foundation, and you certainly bring that to the table as head coach. And Coach Arnold and Coach McMacken also support that. So the players and coaches that are added to that foundation here in 2021, I think we're excited. We should probably see some football action. Hey, let's do that. We got a game last night, occurred at Midland Community Stadium. We had Gannon. The Golden Knights came in from Erie, Pennsylvania. We're going to take you to that game, and we're going to talk about what the opening of 2021 on the gridiron at Northwood University has in store and what lies ahead for all of you football fans. We'll do that right after this word. Welcome back, everybody. MCTV Northwood Replay 2021. I'm one of your hosts, Dale Robbins. My co-host, Rich Violette. We're sitting down for the first time in a while and having a conversation with Northwood Timberwolves head coach Leonard Haynes. Great to have you along. So we have us a football game last night. Gannon was in town, a 28-21 overtime victory for the Golden Knights, but it didn't come without a challenge from the Timberwolves. Coach Violet, let's go ahead and what's your thoughts on last night's game as we do a little bit of a recap of that performance?
Outstanding football game, first of all.
Ta-da.
Heard that from everybody. The fans were energized, fun to watch. Teams were both prepared. Obviously, Coach, you had the coaching staff and your team ready to play football. Again, tough loss, but a lot of positives from last night. I guess my question is, what did you tell the team? What was your message to the team after the game?
Well, it was one of, number one, yes, we fought. We came prepared. We had a lot of energy. Ball didn't bounce our way, is what I told them. It just didn't bounce our way. But, it's about taking care of the little things and finishing. It's some little things that, after reviewing the film this morning, you could see, hey, had we just done that and finished, it's a different outcome, and so just stay together and we'll get this thing corrected moving forward.
We noticed that on film, and we get a chance to do that now through the eyes of MCTV. Here are some highlights, and we've got a bunch of them, and we'll let you now, just having seen most of this for the first time, Coach, make it up as you go along, and here you go, my friend.
Yeah, here. Defensively here, I think we sent us a little bit of pressure here, and I thought the defense started to play well, especially in that first half. We did some great things, and as you'll see these guys run around here, and that's a pick there by Keenan. Keenan really had a really good game, for us this first game. So I was very proud of how our defense performed. And then here it is. Our offense now is going. You see Number 2 there, Cash Goldsmith. Really, really deceiving how strong this kid is. That's Bimba there on that tackle. Young freshman linebacker out of Ohio.
Surprise is out of the box.
Exactly. But here offensively, again, you see another tough run by Cash. He's kind of a bell cow for us. Does a great job. He's a leader of his football team. And you see here Parker with field goal. That's the stuff, again, we got to be able to finish off drives in the red zone.
Right.
So when we get down the red zone, we got to be able to finish.
Right.
And that's something we worked on quite a bit.
Showed.
Yep. And so here's kick return. This is great. We got Cash back there now, kind of a new duty for him. You see he kind of almost break this. But that's the type of player he is. He's a guy that's willing to jump in and do anything.
Defenders one-on-one in the open field don't stand much of a chance.
Well, he stopped kicking to him in the second half.
Right, they did.
Correct. And here again, prime example, getting in on the red zone. We do get some points out of it. And so Parker has always been extraordinary for us. And you go back to the defense here. The gang of guys on the tackle. Again, I thought our defense did really, really well as we kept going. And to be a young defense, and here it is, got picked with Keenan. That's his number 2. Again, he had a really good game last night, from what I can tell so far. As we get into the night, here it is now offense. We're trying to do a little dinking dunking the ball to move it down the field, obviously, to get some first downs. And here's a fake punt that Coach Creeper and I talked about. I said, hey, if we got it, go for it. It's something we practice all week. And a huge momentum swing there. And again, we start this drive. It's all about getting down here and finishing it. So, I wind up going for it on 4th down because I wanted some momentum to come our way. And, and that can go either way. Here's another great play, our defense. I think that was Bimba again. They're defensively, and here we are again. A bunch of Timberwolves to the ball. So back on offense, I think Nate does a great job moving and running around. He can create on his own when the coverage is when his pass is not there. He can use his feet to go get us a first down. And then you hear a great run by, is that Cash? I can't say.
I believe it was.
Yeah, that's Cash. I get him and June mixed up sometime. But Cash right here breaks this wide open. Break this wide open. Huge momentum swing, obviously, for us. And we go for 2 down here, and this is Nate right here.
All Nate.
Great individual effort there.
Yes, great individual effort.
The ball was about the only thing that crossed the goal line.
I think it was. So here we are defensively again. Tackle for a loss. That's one of our linebackers. Well, I can't really see numbers right now. But again, our linebackers I thought played well. I thought our defense again was playing pretty good throughout the game. Here it is offensively, key first down we needed to keep the drive alive. Back on offense here again. You got Nate. It's a nice pass. Drops it right in the bucket to Noah Kinnischnick. Great play there to keep the drive alive as we're going down to try to tie this game up. It's another great effort by quarterback Gomez to Christian Martinez. Man, that was a great key catch
Big.
in the game. Now, and then we go finish the drive off, and that's what I'm talking about, finishing, and that's what we got to do more of right there. So obviously we started doing it later, but you want to see that time and time again.
You talk about finishing with less than 3 to play. You're on your own 5. You got to go 95 yards, not only score, but it's got to be a touchdown, and you got to at least have the extra point to win it.
Yes.
You do that.
Yes.
That, to me, led me to believe, as you played all game, defense was aggressive. You guys just kept after them and put pressure on them.
Yeah.
In that offensive drive, with 18 seconds to play in regulation to tie that thing up, I was just very impressed, Coach, with the way that your players responded to you, the way that your coaches, the communication between you, what you needed to have happen, and what they were able to develop and put on the field. That, for me, was kind of where 2021 so far has been period exclamation point of how Northwood Timberwolves is looking at this 2021 campaign.
Yes, sir.
Coach, was the pressure a game plan thing, or is that a new philosophy?
Both.
Yeah.
Both. We we decided we needed to do some things up front to give some different looks, to be multiple and bring some pressure. Yes, and that was part of our game plan. And there were some things that we talked about, adding some of the newer coaches brought some different schemes to the table that we thought we can implement that'll be easy for our kids to grasp. And they made it easy, and we want to be aggressive. And that's another thing I told our players at the end. We're going to play to win. And that's how we came out, and that's how our coaches coached, and that's how we're going to be throughout this year.
Well, I loved watching the aggressiveness on the defensive side of the ball.
So last week's results are this week's games. Let's take a look at some of the action around the GLIAC and where we're at and where we're going.
Yep. Well, with that Wayne State Slippery Rock, that was poised to be a pretty good game. Wayne State coming off a great year, I thought, last year, 2019, and Slippery Rock is a nationally ranked team, and so it seems like I did read about that game. Wayne State was close to winning it in the last drive, but came up short. Obviously, Ferris State versus Findlay. Ferris State is a powerhouse, and you definitely got to bring your A game if you want to have a chance to play and win with those guys, against those guys. As you see, some of the other games won't happen until later this week. Saturday games, as a lot of the GLIAC teams are playing, again, non-conference opponents. As the standings as it is in the conference, we're all tied.
At the top.
At the top. Then also our overall records, as you see, are right there on your screen, where we all stand.
So here's what we have. We're just making this up as we go along.
There it is.
This is what we all enjoy anyway. So we know that we have 28 minutes and 30 seconds to fill, and we got 24 months of football to talk about. So we're going to sandwich it in. Let's take a look. We do have one more segment, and the three of us and about 80 other individuals from Northwood University, we're going down to Tiffin, Ohio, a week from tomorrow. We'll have that game for you on the radio. We'll give you some of that information as it goes down. But we have an interesting, in our last segment, it's your last hurrah in the GLIAC, as the GMAC is a new acronym now we've all got to get used to. We're going to let you tell us a little bit about this farewell tour of Northwood University in the GLIAC, and we have a chance with Tiffin being in the GMAC, our new conference, a year from now. So there's some things you guys want to prove to yourself and prove to that new conference what we're bringing to the table. So we're going to do that with Coach Haynes, my partner Rich Violet, and I, and MCTV Northwood Replay 2021. We'll be right back. Welcome back, Northwood Replay 2021. We've talked about the last 2 years that we missed. We talked about last night's game in Midland Community Stadium. Now we're going to jettison forward in 6.5 days. The Dragons of Tiffin, Ohio, are on the grid for the Timberwolves. Rich, I'm going to let you hit Coach up on what we need to do come Ohio travel plans.
That's Coach's job, what we need to do, but Coach, 19th nationally.
Yep.
They've had a solid 2 years. They went 9-2 a couple years ago, 6-0 in the spring. Chris Reisert, he's an old Archbishop Moeller guy out of high school in Cincinnati. He's an offensive guru kind of coach. Yeah. They're averaging 4+ yards per game and only giving up 8. Going to be a tough matchup. What do you see with Tiffin this year? What's your thoughts on this upcoming game?
Well, we haven't seen much of them yet. We'll start getting into them here this week. And I know they do have a really good quarterback, and that quarterback drives them. He's one of the best we'll see probably all year. And their team collectively, the coach has done a very good job with these guys. And so, yeah, we'll have our hands full. So we got to come ready, mentally prepared and physically prepared, ready to play, a great team.
And to me, I think that'd be a great measuring stick on where we're at. Yeah. Right?
Yeah, I agree with you. So now we'll see how much more we've grown as a football team. As they say, from week 1 to week 2, we'll see kind of what we look like, after that game. So I'm eager for us. I'm happy for us to go and, compete with some of the best in the country,
right?
And to see how we stack up.
Great.
We talked about it after last night's game. that both teams last night, you and Gannon, appeared to be in mid-season form as far as the performances that we were seeing, the kind of physical contact, the kind of execution on your plays, being in the places most of the time you needed to be. So I'm kind of excited early season for you guys to see Tiffin. Like you said, it is kind of a yardstick, a measurer, and it gives you a taste of GMAC, as Tiffin now used to be in the GLIAC, no longer. They're part of the GMAC conference where we're headed. So does it? It also gives you a chance to kind of put your line in the sand of where you're going, and more importantly, how you continue. Club this year will continue to represent the GLIAC. So this has got to be kind of bittersweet for you, but yet your kids now, you're molding these youngsters new to the program, your new coaches to the program. You're writing your own new book here, are you not?
Yeah, I guess you can say that, Yeah, it is bittersweet leaving the GLIAC because, again, I've been a part of so many years.
Yeah.
And so for me.
Like an old friend, right?
Yeah. So, a lot of the coaches you come to know, from other staffs, and you forge a lot of relationships. But, Northwood has to do what's best for us. And, and for us, it's the GMAC, and going to GMAC to be with schools is more like-minded, in my opinion. And so I think we stack up a little bit better there. Now, it's tough. They're basically what you would probably call would have been the GLIAC South, because most of them are Ohio teams and teams that have been in the GLIAC. And so it's not going to be easy.
And it's reuniting some rivalries.
And it is. Yes, it is. Absolutely. So
let's take a look at this coming week's schedule, Coach, and then we're going to take a peek at what the rest of our balance looks like for the Wood.
Yeah, just like I said, we're headed down to Tiffin to play a great football team down there. And, Davenport is at Walsh. Northern Michigan is out at Wisconsin. Saginaw Valley, it will be at Bowie State. Wayne State is going up against Truman. Michigan Tech's at St. Thomas, and I believe that's the one in Minnesota.
Right.
Very, very powerhouse football team in Fair State. Should be a very, very good matchup with Ashland.
And here's what we look like on paper for 2021. How's that stack up for you?
Well, hey, just one game at a time, right? After we get through Tiffin, we're into the GLIAC schedule, and so we take it from there. One game at a time, and again to see how we stack up.
You bet. Here's where you can find us Saturday afternoon. Rich and I will be down in Tiffin, Ohio. Game time, 1 o'clock is kickoff. Rich and I will be on air on 1490 AM and 107.7 FM, the highway. We'll come up on air about 10 minutes to 1 o'clock. You're invited to join us down there and follow the Timberwolves no matter where they are. And on behalf of my co-host, Rich Violette, and our always not only a special guest, but the third host of Northwood Replay, to have Coach Leonard Haynes back in the house at MCTV in Midland's library. This is healing for a whole bunch of us, and we're playing football again. My name is Dale Robbins, and Northwood's mantra is just this. We like you to go away right now, but we want you to go away mad. Go make a difference. Have a great Labor Day, everybody. We'll talk to you in a few days. So long.